Hey everybody, Liana here, with more Little Big Planet 3. Yay! Yeah, happy. I'm very happy because somebody actually gave me a positive comment. Not on YouTube, on the Twitter. I say the Twitter because I got that from my friend V. Munro. You should listen to his streams too. They're a little lewd, but they're very funny. Yeah, somebody actually took the time to say I was having kind of a crappy day and that I watched your Little Big Planet 3 recording and it made me happy. So we're going to do more. And so in Rob's honor, I have dressed Sackboy as Ellie from The Last of Us. You will notice she has her little, how do you make her go back right there? Little backpack. I don't know if you can see that. Little backpack there. And she's very happy, although Ellie is kind of more, nah, it's not so much Ellie. Maybe in places that's Ellie. Yeah. There's no real Ellie face. Well, I guess that's her. That's mostly Ellie. But yes, positive comments make us happy. So happy. So happy with tongue. There we go. Okay, so we're going to play more Little Big Planet 3. And there we go. This one, Rob, is for you. See what I did there? Yeah. Alright, so back in the game. You can just screw around on Little Big Planet 3 all the time. One thing I've noticed about this game that's a definite improvement, because like, why buy 3? 2's good. This is the thing about Little Big Planet games, is they really have to make a compelling case to make you buy all the time. What did I just do? Oh, wow. Because there is unlimited content on these games, completely for free, you know, with the user-generated content. So every game actually has to have significantly different gameplay mechanics and significantly different gameplay mechanics. Did I say that? Yeah, I already said that. Different in Little Big Planet 3, the thing I've noticed is textures. The textures are significantly improved from Little Big Planet 2. The metals look metallic. The fabrics were always pretty good, obvious reasons, but it's hard to see on YouTube the actual improvements to the textures. But you know, trust me, when you actually get it into HD, it's very noticeable that the stuff looks shinier than in previous. See that cat at the top? Yeah. And you can see the forks on the side. You probably can't because it's YouTube and the quality is kind of crap. But, and this is the thing that usually doesn't happen with sequels, is you don't see that really, well, why did I play this except for more story? And there was a time in gaming you could do that, just give people more story and there's your sequel. You can't anymore. And that's one of the things I love about the video game industry, is you can't just give people more. Games have to have a reason to exist from, like, that looked awesome right there. From a gameplay perspective, games have to have a reason to exist as a numbered game and not, you know, just a DLC with extended story. So, that's sort of the things that, you know, LBP3 does differently. You know, there's all the characters and everything like that. This boss fight is, that's what you have to do. You have to make him burn his hand. But, obviously there's a bunch of exciting stuff going on talking about video games in general. A lot of this stuff I really don't know if I should talk about. And this is the thing about game reporting and discussing games. Obviously there's the, you know, the Techraptor articles of doom that are out there right now about, you know, Fez and all the stuffs there. And, you know, the reality is that nobody yet knows what happened, and this is a story from years ago, from 2 years ago. So as much as it's interesting and, you know, it's a trust but verify situation, I don't really, people are asking me what I think of it, what I've seen. I wish people would start taking more from part 3 of the Techraptor piece and less from, you know, less of the scandal, more of the example of accountability that Alistair exhibited in owning his own mistakes as well as complaining about other people. I greatly enjoyed that element of that interview. Speaking of owning mistakes, I don't know if you noticed, I am dying constantly here. This is a pretty tough fight. Because we have and I'm gonna, oh, come on, squish. But that was the part I found the most impressive, is the example it set more than the dirt it dished. And we'll be doing that again. And that's what I wish more people would focus on and less on the, oh my god, Fez. I am so tired of talking about Fez. I haven't even played Fez, because by the time I got a PC that was, you know, capable of really running, and I mean Fez doesn't have ridiculous system requirements or anything like that, but by the time I got back into PC gaming after getting really pissed off by compatibility issues in the early 2000s, yeah, I've been around that long, Fez was sort of come and gone. But I'm so tired of hearing about this blinking game and this blinking developer. There are developers I absolutely love, but, you know, when people are following a guy because he's a train wreck and not because he has a game either in development or you know, that people are really still talking about for the sake of the game, that really frustrates me, because that's not what I got into gaming to cover. You know, I love games, I want to cover games, and the thing I love about the feedback process between, or you know, what used to exist between developers and media and fans, is that developers were very... They care. They want to make their fan base happy. They want people to appreciate their work for what it is, and you know, and what it's not. And they're very, very good with constructive criticism. Anybody that tells you that game devs aren't good with feedback, you've got to be good with feedback to design video games, because it's a constant feedback process. It's constant iteration. It's constantly refining. Now, not so much in indie, you know. More and more I am hearing that a game started at a jam, and you know, they worked on it and worked on it and worked on it, and then it got, you know, in the case of a game called Star Wall, singular. I just like that it's narwhals. You can put fezzes on, and we're back to fezzes. But you know, the idea that this game could come in a jam and then they'd work on it in their spare time, and then it get picked up on Xbox Live or PSN or something like that. Those are amazing stories, but a lot of the time games are grinds, and if you're going to do it for a living, like, anybody can get lucky and make one game people like. It's that second game people like that I think really makes you a professional, and that means owning your mistakes. And that was the thing in the Techraptor piece that I found so wonderful, and I was like, yay! It was very brave of him to go there and admit his culpability in the whole thing. And I think that was an example of the path forward from this, you know, culture war we've got going on in gaming right now, is people have to start putting ideologies aside and start owning actions. You know, it's really, really easy to point out what the other person in the whole thing did wrong. Like, haha, you burned your hand, you're wrong, but I had to die and restart, so, you know, I have to own that. And that's what I think we need to look at, is here's a guy who, yeah, he has some beefs, and he had a story to tell. But he also went and he owned his part in it. That was the part I liked. So, Alistair is that Pinsoff? Is that how you say his name? I just think it's cool that his name is Alistair, because he's like a Dragon Age character. But, you know, I salute you, sir. Keep on trucking. Mad respect. That's what I want to see more of. How can I get better? You know, people wanted gameplay, so I've started giving you gameplay. It's not something I'm especially comfortable with, obviously, and I've got a lot to learn, but I'm trying. And that's the important thing. I'm trying to look busy. You are like oddly Skynet, like Little Big Planet. But that's sort of my take on it. That's what I'm going to say about the Techraptor piece. Because what else can I say about it? Except I think, Georgie Young is awesome. She interviewed me too. She's great. But in terms of speaking to the facts, I can't. I can't speak to the facts. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know what to think. I'm not going to go digging into this 2-year-old story. You really can't. And it's not new either. There are details that are new, but you'd heard this before. And so I find it interesting that everybody's like, must read. It's a very interesting read, part 2. But I think part 3 is really important, and I think he said some important things, and I think he set a really good example. So that's my bit, and that's my Little Big Planet, and we're watching a movie right now, and I have no idea what's going on because I got the sound turned down so I don't echo. But something very interesting is happening, and that lady has labia on her face, and there's tea. Tea sounds like a really good idea. Yeah.